Episode, you would get to know Paul Miller. Him and I worked together, and it only took a couple months for me to be introduced to his slash, the Doodle Artist. Paul's second form of income is hand drawing on a pair of Vans, and he is very good at it. We talked about the challenges he faces while designing a pair of shoes, and we also touched base on some classics. How do you get started? What keeps him motivated? And why do people struggle to get their passions started? And how music plays a big part in his display of patience. This is the very first episode of Slash, the podcast, and just like anyone else getting something started for the first time, I'm learning as I go. All feedback is appreciated, so leave a review, comment, like, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. Anything helps. But enough about me, because that isn't what this is about. Let's start the show with Paul Miller slash the Doodle Artist. You are listening to Slash, a podcast where I dive into the brains of people with passions and interests outside of their full-time job. My name is Keith Ogden, and I'm not really known for anything, but I will be sitting down with those who serve as an inspiration to continue doing what truly makes them happy. You will hear how they got started, what keeps them going, and any lessons they've learned along the way. Welcome and enjoy.
How's it going?
You ready to do this?
Damn right. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So, to start, I'm here with my guy, Paul Miller. Good to see you, man. Thank you for bringing me into this spot. This looks, like I said when I came in, this looks pretty sweet. Got everything
Man.
set up here.
That's where I grew up. Cards and memorabilia.
So these are all cards?
These are all cards. You got little bobbleheads back there.
Yeah.
Got the veteran stadium stuff back there. You got the actual dirt from the stadium. It's nuts.
Wait, you got the dirt from the stadium?
Yeah, right back there.
Oh, that's sweet. Anything from the previous Super Bowl win? Anything in there?
Anything in there? You got the Nick Foles.
Okay, Nick Foles. Well done. I'm gonna crack this. Gotta have a beer.
Got the one right next to it, signed by a couple players. I can't even tell you who.
Nice. Well, I guess to start, let everyone know what your slash is, man.
So basically, I'm the Doodle Artist. What I do is I design custom Vans, hats, anything really. All you gotta do is just hit me up on Instagram or my website, thedoodleartist.com, and then we'll go from there. Start working.
Nice. So I guess my question to start is going to be, how did this get started? I guess we can say, what did you study in school?
Graphic design.
Graphic design. So
For high school was just art, but
okay.
After high school I went to Antonelli Institute, and then that's where I studied graphic design for 2 years to get my associate's degree.
Nice. And did you think about sneakers or anything in that moment?
So during college I did 2 pairs, one for my cousin and one for my grandma who passed away, for my grandpa who's actually still has the pair in her room.
Yeah.
And then after that, honestly, I didn't think of it as anything that I wanted to do until you came around, and then I did your pair.
Yeah.
Then since then, it's been blowing up.
Yeah, nice. And
Thanks to you.
Thanks. Well, I don't even know how I even originally found out. I
can't. I was trying to think about that last night.
I think we worked together. But I don't even know how I found out. I think I was just talking. It was just in conversation. I was talking to someone at work, and then it just came. I was like, "Oh, Paul does sneakers."
Yeah.
I was like, interesting, because it's something you see on Instagram or something all the time. Like, back when I was a fake sneakerhead, I like to say fake sneakerhead because I didn't really buy sneakers. I was too broke to even buy some. But I was always constantly just looking at sneakers, and I would see custom stuff, and you see it all the time. People are doing these custom. These guys are like super famous. Like these athletes and stuff are going to get custom gear. And then so when I found out that there was somebody at work who like does some custom stuff, I was like, I gotta see what this is. And I already had a blank pair of Vans that I just bought because I love white sneakers. It's something I wear white sneakers. Like, I have some white sneakers on right now. But it's something I like. But I was like, maybe I should get these customized, and that's why I just went to you. And
At that time, I didn't even have a website or anything. Nothing.
Really?
No.
I didn't even know that. So I came in and it was just.
I didn't even think I was the doodle artist at the time. It was just, oh yeah, I'll design it.
So the name is new.
The name is recently new, yes.
Okay. So what would that give us? What?
How long has it been since I had the name? Not even. I don't even think it's a year yet. Maybe 6 months.
So this started.
Basically, when you started.
So you didn't think about doing business or anything before that, like maybe.
Not at all.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Look at that. I didn't even know. That's actually pretty cool. So I guess that answers the how you got started question, but I guess what was your first pair of sneakers you did?
My first pair of sneakers was for my cousin. He still has them to this day. But the problem what I did with him was I designed the shoes all black and white. There was no theme. It was just like, if you look at this pair, it's all like lines.
Okay.
That's what it was. But the problem what I ran into after I did his was I never sprayed him with anything.
Okay.
Wore him outside, and
yeah.
I'm not going to say they're ruined, but he was basically one of the test pairs. But at that time, I wasn't thinking of still doing it as like a thing. It was just something he wanted designed because he had shoes like you did.
Yeah.
And that's hell yeah.
That's awesome. Nice.
It's crazy how the ideas just come to you.
Exactly. Now, were you a guy in school who just doodled a lot in their notebook?
Of course.
So that's basically how you kind of.
I have a whole book at home that I should have brought it with me today, but it's a whole sketchbook of pages that I would just start doodling. So I'm at page 60 right now.
How many pages are in there?
At least 100 something.
Okay.
And I stopped doing it when I started this, so it's just. I guess when I started, the Doodle Artist was just like doodling and real in detail of just anything. But then once I started, it was themes. Who wants eagle stuff? Who wants this? Wants that? Whatever's the popular thing going on in today's world.
And I think that was going to be my next question. Was it, did you just start with, you were just like, hey, I'm just drawing anything. I'm just going to see what these lines look like and just look and just see what that turns out to be.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, I did that in my notebooks all the time.
Yes. You're always sitting there bored in class or bored anywhere. You just started doodling.
I get it. So I guess the next question is why is this so important? So how did this become like your slash? Like, I guess I want to say, when did you really know that this would kind of be like your thing? Like, this was your thing. Like, this is what I'm kind of going to be known for.
So after I did your pair, I did a pair for my buddy, for his daughter, Amelia, my buddy George Hatton. And after his pair and a couple pairs after that, everybody was just hitting me up on Instagram before I even made a page just for my Doodle Artist.
Yeah.
Everything was posted to my normal Instagram. Then everybody was like, I want a pair, I want this and that. I was like, you know what? I need to make money because everybody needs to make money.
Of course, yeah.
And then I love graphic design, art, so everything's just been taking off since then. I always knew I wanted to do something with art. I just didn't know it was this. And I guess designing shoes and Vans. So I don't want to say I'm strictly designing Vans, but right now that's exactly what I've been doing.
Yeah.
But I want to expand my horizon with shoes. So like Jordans, Timberlands, they're all in my ideas. It's just I got to put them to use.
Okay. And graphic design is more of a thing, and it's something I studied in school as well. It's called graphic communication, so it kind of covered all the avenues. Like,
of course,
you're doing computer stuff, you're doing screen printing, you're doing illustration, you're doing printing and presses and all that stuff. So graphic design is more of, I guess the way I look at it is more computer based than anything. And it seems like the avenue you're going down is just
a little different,
just more of like illustration, drawing, and all that stuff. So that's something like you're just like, screw it, let's get it. Let's start drawing. Like, do you ever think about going back to the computer, or do you still do stuff on it?
I still do. Ever since I met the kid we work with, Derek, at Rush for a Tease, I seen that he's obviously been doing it in the game a lot longer than I have. So he designs, not shoes, he does custom prints and he went to school for that. But I see myself designing stuff like this, but also getting back to customizing shirts for people. So it's not just specifically doodling on shoes. I want to try and do everything, you know.
And you mentioned Derek, and I think I and everyone else at work knows you guys just did a recent collaboration. Yes. Can you speak on that a little bit?
So what we did was I call it the City of Champions. So what he did was he printed out illustration of the Liberty Bell for Philadelphia, and he basically said, "Run with it. Design anything, doodle inside of it." So what I did was I started in pencil. I designed everything inside, the logos for the Flyers, the Phillies, the Eagles, etc. And then after that, I handed it back to him, and he did all the graphic design work, which was the computer based.
Yeah.
So that's really how that just took. Yeah. After he did that, he just made it into a T-shirt. After he did all the illustration, and then that's how we did our collaboration.
Nice. So you drew everything
hand drawn, yeah, in pencil, and then
so did he just give you a piece of paper or something?
Literally a piece of paper with the black outline of the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
And I was just
go to town, man.
Literally came to the point where I was just doing lines because it's doodling.
Gotta fill, yeah. Gotta just
fill in empty spaces.
All right, that's sick. So you guys did, I don't know if maybe I missed this part. You guys did a show and everything, right? Or you went to the flea market?
It was at the flea market at Bach, right?
Okay.
Right there, I guess was that.
Okay, cool.
Up in Center City.
Got it.
We had our own little table there. It was just me and him. He had a lot more prints and everything, and I had all these shoes that I have out, and I was just trying to get my name out there. Even though he's been doing it a lot longer, he had all the prices and everything printed. He could do there. I was just getting the feel of how everything works.
Got it. And pretty good experience, I guess. People are.
It's hard for me. I mean, for him, he has stuff to sell, like prints and like shirts. For me, I can't sit there in 10 minutes and customize a pair of shoes and say, here. I would love that, honestly, if that's a goal too. But handing my business card out, website, all that, so definitely was a good thing for me starting out.
Cool. What would you, if there are any, what would you say are, I guess, some myths? What are some common myths about what you do? So with anything, people are doing stuff and they're like, oh, they're doing it this way, or oh, they're not really doing this, they're doing that. Something, I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little dramatic, but are there any myths about
what I do?
Yeah, like any myths in your industry with anything?
Any myths? I wouldn't say there's it's tough. I try to make myself as much different as possible.
Okay.
But I guess everybody has their own way of working. Because, like, I could design a pair of shoes, and somebody like Joe, he could design a pair of shoes. Mm-hmm. No matter what, they're not going to be the same pair of shoes. His mindset is somewhere different than mine. Mm-hmm. It's good that we can collaborate and get ideas and brainstorm, but everybody has their own way of thinking. So I'm trying to break away from all the doodle and certain like lines and just be like themes. So technically, I'm still the doodle artist. That's where I started. So
and kind of to backtrack. So you said do something that kind of separates you. So what would you say is what separates you from everybody else or anybody else that's doing some type of sneaker customization or shirts, whatever that may be?
What separates me is when I started, I was doodling every single thing that was possible. Even if it was doodling on the wall I have in my bedroom growing up, it was just getting yelled at doing anything. Mm-hmm. And then I guess once you start looking around on Instagram and Pinterest and all these things and everybody else is doing it, it's hard to make it your own. Yeah. But everybody thinks different and does their own way of working. It's just how you go about doing it. How do you change it to make it your own?
Yeah, and it's funny you mention that because I always say, and I feel like I always have this conversation where it's 2019. So we're at a point where it's so hard. Like you may come up with an idea and you're like, man, this is genius.
Somebody else
this is great. Somebody probably already did that. You start Google searching, you're typing away, you're like, oh man, this is great. And then you find like 8-10 different things that are literally what you're trying to do. And it's crazy. And I think in the industry that we're kind of in right now with illustration and screen print, and all that stuff, like we work together with like screen print facility, and it's everyone wants to come out with a brand. Everyone wants to drop a brand, a t-shirt line or something.
They want to call
but they don't realize how Now, whether we don't know what their goals are behind it, but like they want it to blow up. They want it to be like the next like Virgil or like some Versace something, whatever that may be. And they're trying to make this thing blow up. And like everyone has something, like everyone has this stuff. So what is it that what are you gonna do that makes you different? And I think a lot of people don't really think about that part in it. And at the end of the day, do what you love. But if you like the style you're doing, you don't have to feel like, oh, I need to do something dramatic to put myself out. No, you don't have to do that. But if they're really trying to make some business out of it, like what is going to set you apart? Like, why am I going to look at your stuff differently than somebody else? And I think that's what people kind of need to start thinking about when they're starting this stuff, whatever that may be, whatever they're starting. I think that's something that people need to look at first. To be like, what is going to be my thing? What makes this my personality? What is setting me different from everybody else? And it seems like you've got that set. So I think that's pretty cool. And I love my pair of Vans. It's funny. I think it just came up on Facebook where it was like a year. They do like a year ago was this. I think last week it just came up. Like I posted my sneakers, like made the angles all perfect, lighting great, posted it, and then like I'm getting comments like, man, this is fly, like this is good. Like this is my man right here, my man Paul Miller. He hooked me up.
Yeah,
my guy.
I feel like I went through that phase when I was first starting. Now I'm trying to make myself, I guess, not different from everybody else, but you got to find a way to make yourself stand out compared to everybody else. Taking it back to where you were just saying about how you design a pair or do something, then you go on social media and somebody's done that pair before or somebody's done that. Takes me back to when I designed this pair of sunflower Vans. Everybody has it's a sunflower. It's not like you can make it different. All you gotta do is just try and do it in your own way, in different.
Of course, yeah.
Everybody has done it before, and you look for social media for like, I guess what's the word I'm trying to think of? Inspiration. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to try and make it your own. So this way, somebody's not going, I saw that on so and so.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's where I'm trying to break away from making it different, unique.
Okay, that makes sense. So moving forward, what keeps you going? What keeps you going?
Probably just hearing everybody talking how it's spreading. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's tough. Every time I listen to music, it just makes me want to draw and doodle. So every time I hear music, I want to sit there all day and just design shoes or just design something. It's hard because nowadays you got to have a full-time job before you start doing something to make money and to provide for every apartment, a house, wherever you're living at. But my goal is to eventually focus on this full-time.
Good. That should be the goal, I think. That's how a lot of people start. They start off with this thing on the side, your slash. They start with this on the side, and then eventually the goal is to make that their main thing.
Yeah.
I think that's just the way
and this and that. Yeah.
It's just the way the world is going at this point. That's good. So I guess generally speaking, let's taking it away from you for a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think it is that keeps people from really doing what they want to do? Because there's been plenty of times, and I know a couple people where they want to start this thing and they start it and they're all motivated for like a week and then it just dies. So what do you feel keeps people from being like, I can't do this. Like, I'm done. Like, I can't.
Probably the world we live in. So, like, say you're working for 2 days, you're all motivated. The next day you come home, you're tired, you don't want to do this. There's something, after you start doing it for a while, you got to sit down and say, I got to do it. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't want to do it, you just got to try. I'm still going through it now. You got to motivate yourself to do it. It's tough. Everybody goes through it, even if you're a Joe Schmo like me or you're a celebrity that's been doing it for a while. Everybody's human. It's just something you got to try and motivate yourself to get past that roadblock.
Yeah. And just to go along with that, in my eyes, I think it's maybe the main factor in why people don't do it is basically time. They just feel like they don't have time to do it. Oh, I work this 12-hour shift. I want this time to myself or whatever. But sometimes that's what you got to do. You just got to come home and you're like, oh, just work this 12 hours. But I want to do this. So let's grind. Let's grind right now. Let's get this done. Let me at least put it a half hour to it, you might as well.
Even if it's a half hour, it's still something that you didn't do that day.
Exactly.
Even if you work a 12-hour shift and you come home at 7 and you've been there since 7 in the morning. Even I found nights where I come home late and I'm still working or designing until about 3 in the morning.
Yeah, dude, there was times I texted you and it was, you were like, yo, dude, I'm working on this pair of sneakers right now. I think you came, I don't know how long ago it was. I'm pretty sure it was a while ago, but you were like, man, I was up till 2 o'clock working on this pair of Vans. It's like, man, dude, like how are you up doing?
Crazy.
I'm just trying to go to sleep because I gotta get to work in the morning. But I mean, that's what sets you apart. That's what keeps you going. And a lot of people don't. They get discouraged when they don't have that time. They don't want to do that, and everyone always comes up with something. They're like, oh, I work this, and then I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Man, sometimes you just gotta look. Sometimes you gotta put the effort into yourself. It's just like, let me do this. Like, this is something I want to do. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Why not?
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody goes through that roadblock.
Oh, dude, literally everybody.
Even if you're not just designing Vans or shoes, you're whatever you do. It's just there's a roadblock where you just become, I wouldn't say lazy. There's just, I don't feel like doing this today. Yeah. Well, then you do it tomorrow, then you say the same thing. Mm-hmm. Eventually, it's going to come back to bite you in the butt.
That's true. So, would you say that is that your only roadblock, or like for yourself personally, is that your only roadblock, or is there something else that and some hiccups along the way?
Hiccups that's one of my main roadblocks. The other one is you gotta invest in the company. Well, not a company, but for me, you gotta sit there and you gotta buy Vans. So if the money's not there, you just gotta sacrifice sometimes just to get it, so you can make the money. Yep. So that's definitely another roadblock.
I spend money to make money.
Damn, I didn't get paid this week, but you have a job coming in. You gotta just sacrifice, and it's that, and definitely the other one was the roadblock for me so far.
Yeah. Where would you say that you have? Who do you look to for like support? Like what resources have you used? Whether that may be Instagram, somebody you know who maybe have done this before. And who do you look to for your inspiration?
Obviously, everybody looks at Instagram. Like if you're doing the pair for Flyers design, and you just go Flyers Vans designed, and you go on Instagram, everything shows up. Yeah. But definitely Pinterest, though, even believe it or not.
Yeah, good old Pinterest. You got a Pinterest board?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Paul Miller with the Pinterest.
I don't know the people off the top of my head, but there's plenty of people that I've talked to on Instagram starting out. Okay. I don't know their names off the top of my head, but I've reached out to them and asked like inspiration. Like,
got some responses too.
Yeah, I did.
Good.
1 or 2 people. So yeah, that's definitely where I go to for a lot of my inspiration.
Okay.
You like to make it your own though. You don't want to just take their advice and just do that. You got to know how to, make it your own.
Exactly. I get it. So what have you learned along the way? Well, I guess that's really general, but I guess I'm trying to figure out like where have you really, maybe you've had this pair of sneakers, you're doing this and like, man, I don't really like how that's going, or maybe the business side of it, like maybe I need to do this instead of that. Like what are you learning? I don't want to say fail, but what have you learned? Yeah. What have you learned from? Like, what's an experience where you were just like, oh, can't do that?
So when I went to AC Moore, I bought these. It's not a Sharpie, but it's like a marker. I don't have it with me. It's hard to explain. But the one pair I did, I used it on a shoe, and as soon as I hit the shoe, it expanded because it wasn't made for. So that's definitely, I learned from that. But there's pairs where I started to do and I messed up, and it's hard to fix because it's a event. You got to sit there, you mess up, you got to try.
You already did it. And now you gotta just go in, so you gotta go over.
It's a white van. Maybe you could just use acrylic white paint and try and pick up paint over it. Let it dry. But it's hard. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, and you mentioned the color, and let's go back to that. I guess when you first did mine, and I guess when I thought you were already started, but I guess you were just starting out. I was kind of like the first one. You started off with black and white and stuff. So what made you want to start moving to color?
So when I first started with color, after doing black and white, I used color, but it was only Sharpie color. I was afraid to actually get into the paint.
Ah, okay.
So everything was just, say I was doing a Liberty Bell right here, and I wanted to do color at the time. It was just Sharpie trying to sit there forever and color it in. So after like having like wrist pains after one night, I decided, you know what, I gotta try using acrylic paint.
Okay.
Can't tell you which job off the top of my head I remember was the first one I did, but it was definitely the best decision I ever made was going into that. Because instead of taking forever to get one spot perfect, all you gotta do is just make sure the line painting is good.
It's a good old acrylic paint. So this is, you got
This
this.
is Angelus. That's one of the great companies I've been getting all my paints from since I started.
Like, how long would this bottle? I guess it depends on if you.
It depends if you need that color for a lot. I've only had to buy one or two things from them, and I've been good for now.
Yeah.
But if you're well in the game, you might need a bunch of big ones, and then have your own room and have a lot of colors. You know.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
So, are you working on anything right now?
I am. I have a pair here, but I didn't start it yet. But this pair right here, I just got in. So I customize it myself. I customize it on the Vans website. Right. I didn't start yet, so they're fresh. But these are going to be Philadelphia-based Vans, like the Eagles Super Bowl.
There you go. Everyone wants the Philly ones now.
Even though they're out of the playoffs, that's what they want because you're from Philly.
I set the tone. I set the tone.
So when you do customize from Vans, it takes about a couple weeks to get in.
Okay.
Once it comes in, I'm waiting.
So what did you get done to these?
So when you I have a pair on top of my head, right? So. So like when you're ordering a pair of Vans, it's just you buy a black pair of Vans with laces, a white pair, everything's already done. But this one I had to change to this color because it would just be white. This was all black, so this was all white, so I had to customize the brown. Everything had to be customized.
Okay, yeah.
So when you customize a van, it takes a little bit longer.
And that's something the customer wanted. Okay, got it.
They specifically wanted a pair that they saw that I did for someone else. It's hard to exactly, replicate something I did for somebody else because you gotta make it different because it's not for the same person. So that's why even inside it says custom. I just realized that when I looked at it. So it's a lot different than now when you're just buying a pair. Because if you're buying a pair, they have it in stock and they just ship it to you. Sure. They gotta actually probably send it out. I don't know how that works, but they probably gotta actually get it custom made and then shipped out, and that takes a little bit longer. But this is my next pair to work on. I actually took a little break for about a week or so just to recuperate with personal stuff.
Everyone needs a little refreshment. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Whatever.
2019, I'm definitely trying to work more on trademarking my name.
Of course.
This way, because like, if you type in Doodle Art on Instagram or Facebook, you just get a bunch of
you get a bunch of notebooks in there.
Exactly. I was actually just randomly hitting Doodle Artist or just different stuff on social media the other day, and the first person that came up, his name is Mr. Doodle. I don't know who he is. I think he's from a different country.
Mr. Doodle, get out of here, right?
He designs everything. Like he does shirts, walls, rooms. You gotta look it up.
Oh, we gotta find Mr. Doodle and get him lower on the Google page. This man, we gotta get you up there.
So that I actually a couple weeks ago just started getting myself on the Google site. So like you type in my website, it comes up, but you got to make sure you're up there. And his was the first one.
So how do you go about that?
So what I use is Wix.com.
Okay.
You pay for everything. You get it done for X amount of money, and then it works. There's a step-by-step process where you could go through and set how you want your not slogan to be, but the Doodle Artist and your caption under it. So you could actually type that out and say exactly what it wants.
Got it.
So I went through everything and did that. That took about an hour because you got to go back to here, go to there. Mm-hmm. It's a process, but you got to start and you can't. That's like a roadblock. You say, oh, I don't want to do this tonight. Yeah. Then hey, you got to sit there. It's not like you're actually doodling when you're not getting work done. You technically are getting work done because you're doing it for your site.
Of course. Okay, so what number are you on Google right now? So what do you have to type in to find you on Google? If I wanted to find the Doodle Artist, boom. If I type this in, I know it's coming up.
Let me try and type it right now on Google. The Doodle Artist.
The Doodle Artist. I gotta find, what was his name? Mr. Doodle?
Mr. Doodle.
Mr.
Yeah.
Doodle. Get out the way for my man Paul Miller. Get out the way.
Literally,
Okay.
I typed in the Doodle Artist on here. Mr. Doodle. His first website was the first one right here. This guy.
Mr. Doodle's blocking blessings right now.
He is. I would say mine's is about third right now on Google.
That's not bad.
And every time somebody clicks on my thing, I get notified by Wix saying somebody's looking into your thing. So it's not definitely not word.
I'm nowhere on Google.
No, not yet.
I don't even. You type in slash, you're gonna get everything. We obviously know we obviously know slash. That's obviously the first thing that comes up. But it's a hard game out here. It's a hard game out here. But this is.
I picked such a hard thing because everybody doodles on every single thing out there. So I probably picked a hard thing to start, but that's
your thing. But it's funny you say that, just because like I would like to think I know a fair amount of people, but I've never met anyone who drew or like doodled on shoes. I just didn't know anybody who did that.
no.
And I think it's maybe people were scared of it. Maybe you get celebrities who obviously get these custom sneakers, and obviously you have those celebrities who have their people they go to. But I don't think it's really that common. I don't know. Maybe I don't think it's that common of a thing that people really do. But I think you've got something going. I mean, you're in a Philly area. People love this stuff in the city. I'm sure you can find plenty of people who who just want some custom sneaks and just want the.
Yeah.
You just got to keep grinding and get it out there. I think that's the.
We'll see if I can find you the very first pair of Vans I did.
That's right. You said was it for your cousin or were they for yourself?
And my grandpa. Oh, it's actually, what am I saying? It's on my website.
That's right.
Jeez, here instead of just going through my camera and.
Isn't the ones you did for yourself were, I think I know what they look like, but don't they say like? Does it say Paul? They can't say Doodle Artist because you obviously just said you.
It was so when I went to.
Say like Paul Miller Design or something.
It was P.N. Mill Design. So when I went to graphic design school, in order to graduate in the not pass school, but in order to finish, you had to make your own website here and there, and whatever you did through the school period, you had to have a portfolio, which was I still have it upstairs. I really haven't.
Okay.
And then I used P.N. Mill Design, so Paul Nicholas has my middle name, Mill for Miller, and then Design. I've really tried to stay away from that now and focus on this.
Yeah.
So I literally, when I started this, I had two websites. That for my graphic design work and this. So I had to make that decision where I'm going to lean more towards this because this is where I'm trying to make my most out of. Graphic design is a lot different to me than the Doodle Artist. It's still art, graphic design, but it's custom. It's illustration. Yeah. So if you look here, this was the very first pair. I think there's just one photo on my Instagram.
All right, oh wow,
that's the one for my cousin.
Straight doodle.
Literally, I was everything. There was no theme. It was his name.
And that was it.
I don't know if you have to scroll next or how that works, but let me see. Exit out of that. And the pair that I did for my grandma when she passed away was this. There was more of a theme to it. So literally it was just black Sharpie and red Sharpie. There was no really color besides that. And it was just...
And that's Sharpie. So, and you said that's the problem. It was bleeding, right? Like it was like spreading out.
Yes.
And that you kept that pretty thin. So you were using those thin Sharpies, I'm sure.
At the time, yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, this wasn't even a Vans shoe. This was a different one. It was one of those older... It was one of her... It was actually one of the pair of shoes that she wore. So it was like a... leather. I don't know if it's leather. It's hard to explain what material it was, but it was different. So that's why you have to start on a different pair of something before you start designing. Because in case you mess up, then you're like, oh, I can't go back.
Yeah. Have you done that? Have you done that research on like what works well on this material? So like obviously Vans are more canvas than anything. But have you? And you mentioned before that you want to move on to doing like Jordans and like other pair of sneakers, like some boots or Timbs or anything. Could you use this stuff on that, or would you just be like, I need to change?
You definitely could use that on there. I have a pair of Jordans and a pair of Timberlands. Well, not mainly Timberlands, but I have a pair of Jordans that I have at home. So this way, if somebody gives me a pair to do, I could practice on a pair that I have that I don't really care that much about before I start doing it. This for somebody that's paying money for it.
Got it.
Definitely, before you do any kind of thing for Vans in general, you got to do more research into it instead of just starting up and say this should work, right? Then you start doing it, it's like, oh, damn, no, I gotta. So.
Okay, I get it. I'm interested to see the first pair of Jordans because I think a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, we obviously know what the Jordan brand does to people out there.
Jordans is a lot different too, yeah. Because the Jordans, you got there's not more lines, but it's not a full canvas. So you got more those dots on the front of the shoe.
Yeah.
You got the symbol and everything. So it's definitely a process you got to think about before you start.
I got some Jordans that got mostly white on them. I might have to flex on some people and get those things customized. And people about to be real mad at me out there. Real mad with these custom ones. Cause I think it's a great market, man. It's a great market. Like, you're never gonna stop wearing shoes.
Exactly.
Gotta wear shoes.
Some kind of pair.
A lot of people wear Vans, and obviously you're gonna be expanding, but a lot of people wear Vans.
And every time I design a pair of Vans, I get the question, "Oh man, these are so good. I don't want to wear them outside." It's like I can promise you that every time I design a pair of shoes, I spray it like 3 or 4 times
Bring them up
with the stuff. So I tell people, don't step in a puddle. I can promise you it won't get ruined, but just don't specifically dump it in a bucket of water just to see if it doesn't work.
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie. I was scared to wear mine too. Of
course.
We were just the Facebook came up and you did it, and it was around this time, and so I was like, dude, I'm not wearing these to the spring, summer. I need a nice little day where I'm cool. But then it's funny when you're wearing
watching
you're watching stuff. You're just watching stuff. Ooh, I'm gonna step on this curb a little bit lighter than I usually would, because you don't want to bump your toe or something. I do that all the time, so I had to really be careful. And I don't even remember the first time I wore mine. I think when did I wear it? I can't even remember, but I know people were upset when I wore them to work one day. I wore them to work just so I can flex.
Yeah.
And then people were like, "Why are you wearing those here?" I was like, "I gotta wear them sometime. Like,
you can't just let them sit.
I gotta wear them. Like, I didn't get these for nothing. I just wanted to show them off. I think I wore them to like a Phillies game once. That was cool.
It's definitely good to have other people show your work on their social media. So this way, my followers aren't going to see your followers if they don't know each other. Yeah. So this way, if you're posting it, then they'll go and search who did this. I got to go see if I want a pair. Exactly. That's definitely a good way of getting people to see your brand.
Okay.
Expanding a lot. Yeah. You know.
All right. So this is a later question. We talked about it a lot before this. So how do you balance this and your actual job?
It's a great question. It's hard. So basically, we work at the same company. So you come in and you go. What we have to do is we have to go in the morning. We go about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and then you get home. Say our shift's over, about 7 or 8 at night, and then you're done. You go home. Since I live with my girlfriend in my apartment, you got to make dinner. You got to take a shower. You got to get ready for the next day. By the time she goes to bed, like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, I'm not going to bed because I'm not tired because I've been working all day. I can stay up and work. Yeah. So it's I would say it's tough to balance work and work at the same time. You gotta know. First week or two when you're first starting out, it's tough because it's like, damn, I'm tired as shit, but I gotta motivate myself. Yeah. That's when you put your headphones in, you listen to music. It puts you in the mood to start working.
What do you listen to? What kind of music? Who's your go-to?
I know everybody's gonna make fun of me, but I definitely love some country music when I'm working on shoes. Right? Country music is one of my favorites, but then again, you got that side. It's like rock. You got Foo Fighters, you got Green Day.
Yeah.
You got Muse, Imagine Dragons. Like, it's literally, if you go in. So what I do is I start working, and then I get my phone and my Beats, and I have YouTube. So what I do is I just hit one band, and after I'm listening to that song, I just what's next on their playlist. So it's like it's like a variety. What they suggest is next is what I play.
Okay.
So, believe me, there's a strange music I listen to, but
country is what's providing these fabulous sneakers, everyone. So just stop the hate on country. I mean, I'm not a big fan of country. I'm not gonna lie, but
I know
I can't hate now because I got a beautiful pair of sneakers, and then I owe it all to country music.
It's tough, you know. I mean, It's what motivates me. So I guess I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. You know,
Don't, man.
everybody has their own way.
Do your thing. Do your thing, man. That's awesome. Cool. So, what do you say? What tips do you have for anybody out there really trying to take their idea to the next step? What tips do you have for anybody who's like, I'm trying to do this. Let's do it. What do you got for them?
You gotta spend money to make money, basically. So if you're hurting that week and you gotta motivate yourself to do something, do it.
Mm-hmm.
It might hurt in the long run. Say, oh, I should have did that this week. My paycheck's low. I gotta pay this. But hey, you did this and your name's out there, so you're gonna get more people to come in. And definitely fight with. I'm still fighting to this day with the roadblock. So if you're tired from work and your day job, just gotta motivate yourself somehow. Even if you need somebody to talk to or just like to motivate you, listen to any kind of music, whatever. Listen to, not country, 'cause I don't like country, but you just gotta keep going through it. You gotta realize that at the end of the day, the road is brighter. There's better things to come than just sitting there and saying, I want to do it today. It's tough. I'm saying this now, but tomorrow I'll be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I'm still.
Yeah, you're still battling the demons yourself.
Yeah.
That's tough because, again, we said it before. It's that time, man. Everyone just wants that time to themselves, and I think I constantly do it for myself as well. It's just, man, I really should do this. I was like, man, but that just means I'm just gonna be working again. Like, I'm not going to have this relaxation time that I need and, play a little Call of Duty. Exactly. Not a plug or anything, but I just love me some Call of Duty. Sometimes I just want to come home, put the headphones on, and just shoot them up, Just play some Call of Duty. But
that's definitely one thing I've stopped doing since I've been doing this, is just play video games. It sucks. It's killing me. But, like, I got to realize having fun playing video games or making money.
Or make a little extra change.
It's tough, but...
So where would you say, how are you doing right now?
Right now I'm doing
pretty good.
Got a lot of followers on Instagram. Everybody's looking at my website. I would love to be better everybody would love to be better, but definitely happy with myself.
In a good place.
Where I've came so far.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of new things coming for 2019.
And it seemed like this happened pretty quick too, because I only met you a year ago. This happened quick. I think
way too fast for me to even think about it.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to come to you or whatever and get these sneakers done and you realize, like, hey, I'm trying to make this into something. But it's only been a year. You're early in the game, man.
Literally
early in the game, and to have this kind of growth or whatever that's good. I can look. I just want to be the guy who said, like, I knew him from the beginning. I knew Paul when he first started, and he did my first pair. I still have his pair because you're gonna blow up one day.
Yes.
The selfish me is gonna be like, look, I know him. I'm name drop whatever I gotta do. Look, I know Paul Miller. Do you? That's what I'm gonna do. Just because this is huge. I think sneakers is a good avenue to go down. You've chosen the right department. And where to show your creativity and stuff.
I love how the question everybody asks is like, how did you get started? It's like, sometimes there is no answer. You go to school to do art or to do graphic design, to do photography, to do anything. It's just somebody comes along, wants a pair, and then you're just like, you know what? Let me start doing it.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's like you're not expecting it. Because if I would have told you 2 years ago I was doing this, I'd probably say you're crazy.
Yeah.
I would not think I was, but... I'm happy where I'm at, and yeah, I'm actually doing something that I went to school for. When you went to graphic design, everything's computer based.
Of course.
So you're sitting there in class on your computer, but then you got this illustration class where it's this and that. But it's definitely what I wanted to do. So.
And I think it's something that I think I realized in the school too, because I think in my background is, I grew up. I was like, oh, I want to be an artist. I want to do this. And people are like, dude, artists don't make money, man. It's like, what do you want to be, a starving artist? Like, you want to be this painter? Maybe and I'm not knocking anybody who does it at like amusement parks or anything, but you want to be like this caricature, like guy just drawing. Like, you can't do anything with it. But it's something you're just like, but I like to do it. So I think I started off as just like, I'm going to draw. And I'm I was fantastic at drawing, and I guess I'm still kind of am, but I just took a break from, not even a break. I think I just kind of got away from it with the whole majoring in graphic design and getting more computer based. I had this amazing teacher in high school who just showed me a lot of stuff with that it was kind of, I don't even know if he meant to, but it was deeper than just, hey, we're trying to make this or whatever. He just taught me a bunch of stuff. And I think that's where I fell in love with screen print. And
Yeah.
everyone knows, like, how much money is in screen print. Not,
Well, that's sure the one that starts the outfit.
it depends, because it's like screen print. People are always going to be wearing shirts.
Exactly.
You know, like, so there's a business in it, and it's a skill. It's a trade. Like, if you can tell somebody, hey, I know how to screen print, they're immediately probably going to be like, oh, I had this shirt design, I want to do this. Can you do this for me? So it's a skill. It's a trade. Like, I think it's something, whether it's something you want to do, anything like that. I think that's when I started going down the actual printing avenue of it. Is just, I like screen printing. I like seeing something. It's like, this is a screen. This is something someone created. I want to put this on the shirt or whatever we're printing on, and make that a thing and bring that to life. And I think it's more personal when you, and your avenue, and I think this is what it helps it, is that I think it's more personal. Exactly. You're literally creating this from your head. You're drawing it by hand, and the cleaner it looks, somebody is like, this dude drew this on these sneakers. It's so clean. It's fresh. Like, you thought this of yourself. You're not going on some computer and doing all this stuff and like having basically somebody make it for you. You're just doing this by hand. Like, that takes skill. And I think that helps you, just because, like, this is way more personal than maybe people even realize. Like, it means a lot. Like, when I got my sneakers, man, I was hype. I was putting that stuff everywhere. Just like, dude, like, how is this line so clean? I guess I should ask, you got like a barber touch to this stuff. How do you keep this stuff so straight, clean?
I wish I had an answer.
I'm looking at these flyers and the Love City, like, everything's so clean. I feel like a lot of people, and it's funny when you watch little kids or anybody who doesn't really know how to draw, they're always going over their line. It's more of a sketch. You know how people sketch and you keep going over it, but you make a straight line, you gotta keep that line. Like, how do you even keep that going?
I won't lie. What I do before, even though it makes the process a lot longer, everything's done in pencil first.
Got it.
So like, I did City of Philadelphia Brotherly Love in pencil. Easy. Everything's outlined. You do the whole shoe outline, and then you do the paintwork. So everything. If you should see my sketchbook, do I have it with me? Yeah.
Get that sketchbook.
Obviously, your pair's not in there because it's been about a year ago, but like, this is the pair I did for Morgan. Mm-hmm. The pair that the kid we work with. Everything was the front of the shoe. Everything was sketched out beforehand. So like, I went. This is my sister's pair over there. Holy Family. You got to put City of Life right. The hat, the one hat I did. Yeah. This. That's it. But then you got everything. So this way, I'm not going in empty-handed, knowing, what am I going to do now? So this is definitely a lot of inspiration. You take the time, you put into effort of doing it before you start. Okay. That's where most people, like, I don't got time to do that. Neither do I, but you gotta
do it, man.
It's crazy, but you gotta. It's tough, but
go after it.
Wish I could tell you how neat my hand is, but it's crazy because if you could see how crazy my hand shakes. It's like, oh shit, I messed up. I gotta get back. I gotta fix that problem. Okay. But I haven't had the problem where I gotta reorder a new pair. So I don't want to knock on wood, but haven't had that much of an issue yet. But
okay,
it's definitely a learning process every single day. I'm still new at this, so obviously I've grown in a year, but it's still, even if you've been doing it for 6 years, there's still things you're learning that you didn't know yesterday. Yeah. You know, if you're doing like the love symbol right here, you got to do the red, let that dry, then you got to do the other one, because you can't do the red.
That's right.
Start doing this and you get a hand.
How long does that take to dry?
Probably a good half hour. It depends. It depends how big of the mark.
You got some patience.
It's crazy. That's why I have a little heater at home, so I let it sit there and dry, and then I come back to it. At night when you're done work, it's just like do you have that time? That's where it comes into play. But definitely tell people to keep getting motivated and keep trying.
Yeah. But don't stop.
Yeah. If you need help, come to me because I'm still going through it today.
Of course.
I'm sure you're doing the same thing. Everybody's doing
Yeah,
it.
we are, man. People just gotta find their niche out here.
My Saturday, it's my day off. I don't want to do nothing. But hey,
what can you do to really grow?
Exactly.
That's good. I mean, I guess we can really start wrapping this up. Let people know where they can reach you, man.
Yeah, obviously everybody hit me up on Facebook. Everything that goes to my Instagram goes to my Facebook, the Doodle Artist. But where I post all my stuff is my Instagram. So the Doodle Artist on Instagram, everything I hit on Instagram, I hit the link and it goes right to my Facebook. So definitely the Doodle Artist on Instagram, and check my website out today.
Any underscores or anything in there? Yeah, you don't even know?
Yeah, I do, but I don't want people to type it in and it's not going to show up.
Of course. Go ahead.
You got to make sure it's perfect.
Yeah, cover all avenues.
So it's the_doodle_artist.
There you go. That works.
And then doodleartist.com on Google, I promise.
Cool.
Don't type in Mr. Doodle. That's definitely not me.
We gotta get Mr. Doodle out of here.
He's from England or something, so it might be. We gotta make a trip.
We're going to England.
I appreciate you taking the time to come interview me.
Oh, no problem, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm my man Paul Miller, aka the Doodle Artist. Coming in. Thanks, man. This was great. I'm glad I know a little bit more now.
Yeah, you definitely learned a lot more.
I definitely did.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I love it. Might have to make you another pair soon with the Jordans.
Of course, Jordan's coming soon. Jordan coming soon. I think they're Jordan 10s. I'm not going to tell anybody what they are, but there's some 10s out there. But
a lot of pressure on me. I love it.
All right, man. See you at work on Monday.
And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool.